Hello and welcome to another episode of the Long Hop Cricket Podcast with me, Owen, and sat beside me, as usual, is Dave. And in this episode, we're going to be covering the third Test match between England and India, or India and England, isn't it? They're the home team, so they should be.
Do they always go first?
It's got to be, isn't it?
Happens in football, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying.
But I always list them as
Yeah,
England versus India.
It is. It's India versus England. You've been doing it wrong. That's why it hasn't taken off. Just straight off the bat, it's back-to-back losses. And, like,
Back to
a
back.
pretty convincing one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't really think it was ever really much of a game, was it? Do you think they're nice to take part in?
Did England bottle it? Or did India outplay England?
I think India just better.
They are better, but do you
Yeah.
think England could have done better, couldn't they?
Well, yeah, obviously.
England weren't
'cause
so
you
outplayed
lose,
that
so
that was the best they could have done.
Oh, right. Well, yeah, I don't think England played their best and lost.
I don't think they played anywhere near their best. I do think England
Although, if you come up against someone who plays really well, then you not
India are
not
gonna...
doing your best looks worse.
Yeah.
If that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Well, they've been exposed, if you like, haven't they?
Yeah.
Again.
Although, have they? I don't think recently England have ever done well when it starts
The batting,
to spin,
isn't it? It's the
or
batting that's the
in
problem.
Subcontinent conditions. But anyway, before we get into the game, have you got any news? Da-da-da.
Yeah.
Dave, news.
If
Get
we...
done for that.
Copyright.
Well, Dave, the channel. Go on.
There's a great game against Pakistan and New Zealand. Another really good one. New Zealand take the series 2-0, and so two match series whitewash. But New Zealand set Pakistan something like 360, 370, maybe a little bit more to win. Pakistan get to the final session of the fifth day, about probably just over 30, 35 overs left to go. It's a longer session than normal. And Pakistan are 1 wicket down. New Zealand take 9 wickets in the last session to win the game.
I'm looking at the scorecard now.
Yeah, so Pakistan went for it. I watched the highlights of the game. Pakistan
Sami
went.
Aslam, 91 off 238
So
balls.
they basically just were going to bat out for the draw, and then they got to the final session only 1 wicket down.
Yeah, so 91, 58, so that's obviously big partnership. Then it just goes
Then it's just
16, 19, 11,
it's
0,
single
13,
figures, yeah.
8, 0, 0, 0. That's
It's the first
terrible.
time it's ever been done. Is 9 wickets in a
Is
session to win the game. Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
but it looked like Pakistan might. I think they needed to chase like 200 down in like 30 odd overs. So it wasn't impossible, but it would have been a good effort. And that then, like when the first couple of wickets went down, that was it. Then it was a bit of a domino effect.
Yeah. That is a good match.
It's been a really good series actually.
That would have been really good. I wish I'd have watched it.
And in team news for England, England call up Keaton Jennings and Liam Dawson to join the club, join the side
club.
outside in India. So it looks like they might look to. Dawson's already played ODI cricket, but Jennings might get
If
a
you
go.
got called up for England, right, to the squad, you're not guaranteed to play.
Do you reckon they get
right?
paid more? Yeah, they must do. They must get an additional fee for being called up into the side, right?
I don't know. Maybe. I've got no idea.
No.
Probably. You'd hope so. But wouldn't you be really, really desperate to play just so you could get your baggy? I would. I wouldn't want to be picked in the squad.
You know,
And then it's like, well, I could never get picked again.
did you
I
know in
really want an
county
England baggy.
cricket you get a provisional baggy?
Yeah.
You got to have a number of tests before you get the proper baggy.
Play
A number of games, sorry.
Number of games. What,
Yeah.
before you get an actual...
So you get like
the
a
real one?
rookie's hat, and then you
Sucks.
have to do like 5, or is it 10? I'm not sure. And then until you get the actual team,
What, just in case you're absolutely rubbish.
I think it's like back from when we used to have professional amateur games. I think
Sucks.
you have to change from an amateur to a professional. This is
Oh,
like
right.
a really old thing that's gone on for however long the game of cricket's been going on for. Well, that's the news.
But would you not want the back? I would be desperate to play. It's like, I just really want the hat.
Is that what you?
Yeah, being called up would be cool, but I'd really want the cap. Yeah. Anyway, The first thing when I heard about the team that England had picked is Gareth Batty getting picked. It annoys the hell out of me.
Is Batty the only one in that's a new addition? No, there's
Butler, which you said.
Josh Butler, which I called
which
for
you were
them.
hoping for.
So I was happy about that.
But didn't you want Bairstow batting 4, not Mo and Ali batting 4?
I didn't want Bairstow to have the gloves. Is it because England find themselves 100 for 5 more times than not, don't they? Is it fair to let Bairstow have the gloves if he's fielded all day and have to come in at number 5? Does that make sense?
Again?
So if they're 25 overs, 30 overs in
to fielding or batting?
to batting,
into batting.
But Bairstow's been in the field for the
wicking
last 90 overs beforehand. He's already done an innings wicket keeping.
Right.
Is it fair for him to come in at number 5 and have to bat then? After only having...
I don't think it would... What?
I think he needs a longer rest. It's almost like the bowlers, isn't it? But Bairstow's... His mental state has to be switched on all the time. You can't ponder in the field.
You'd be hoping that he'd have longer, really, wouldn't you? I don't know if you can do his position.
That's why I think Alex Stewart moved... He was a frontline
He was
batsman,
opener, but he refused.
But I think he started moving down the order.
You can't open, can you? That's what Alex Stewart said.
I don't know if you can be
mental.
I would like to see Johnny Bairstow at 4 without the gloves.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's what I thought you wanted. Is him not having the gloves and going 4?
Yeah, that's what I prefer. I don't want him 5 and have the gloves. I don't want him to have the gloves really if Butler's in the team.
I think if you've got a brittle middle order, why have you moved Mo and Ali to 4?
He bats number 3 for Worcester, doesn't he?
Yeah, but come on. They're playing for Worcester and then playing for England in India.
He plays spin well.
Right, we really don't want to lose another wicket. Let's send Mo and Ali.
I don't mind Mo and Ali there.
I do.
I'd rather Bairstow and Mo and Ali number 5, Ben Stokes 6, Butler 7.
Do you not think you'd rather give Joe Root and Johnny Bairstow better chance to bat together?
Yeah, definitely.
I would put Bairstow 4.
Because Bairstow can stop that rock, can't he?
He's done well. I would much rather Bairstow 4 because I think Mo and Ali.
Would you agree with me without the gloves?
Yeah.
Although he hasn't done badly with the gloves, but
I think Mo and Ali's a better front runner.
I don't want to see him further. I don't want to see him any further down than 5.
No, I'm all right with him at 5.
Yeah, 5 or 6.
I don't want him at 4, which is weird, isn't it? One position.
But Ben Stokes, I wouldn't want him any further than... I'd rather Mo and Ali come in before Ben Stokes.
Yes, absolutely.
And Josh Butler, I'm obviously happy for him to come into the side, just because I think... Who else we could have recalled? Balance or Duckett?
I don't mind... I know you're not a fan of Duckett. I don't mind Duckett, but I don't want Balance. I think he's just not good enough. I know Duckett did badly, but...
Much preferred to have...
It's really hard, isn't
Butler
it?
in the team.
I know Hamid's shown he's got the quality, isn't he? In a really hard series to come into. But I think, again, Duckett deserves another chance, but just not going and playing in India.
So Gareth Batty makes another game, which
is ridiculous.
Yeah, he didn't have a good game.
So I said he shouldn't have been picked in the first to go in the squad.
I've been listening to a lot of pundits or ex-professionals' opinions, and they're calling for that third spinning option to be axed.
What, just not
so no Batty, no Ansari, and to bring in a batsman because England are shaky. So
right, I see what you're saying.
Because if you were to look at how many overs Batty bowled in the first innings, so the second innings Batty only has 20 overs in the whole game.
Yeah.
Do we need a third spinning option? Because Ansari didn't get many overs in the game before. I prefer Ansari, but I don't think we need that. I'd rather have another pace bowler. Broad come back in.
Not another batsman?
No, I think I'm not. People always say, "Oh well, if you have 6 batsmen and they're doing badly, have a 7 and they'll do all right." Is that gonna work? Who are we gonna bring in? If we're gonna have another batsman, you're gonna bring. Well, they've made a call up, haven't they? They've brought in Dawson and
where are they going
Jennings.
You're not changing the top 3, are you?
Well, you're going to have to.
I bet the top
Hamid's
three.
injured. Hamid's not.
Oh no,
playing
sorry.
no further.
I mean, if you're bringing in an extra batsman, so obviously you replace the opener. But I mean, where does the extra batsman fit in? So
he takes.
he'd probably go forward, wouldn't he? Then they'll drop Moeen Ali.
It would depend who it was, wouldn't it? If they were going to bring in somebody like maybe Duckett might fit in at number 4 or 5, like you said. But if it's going to be somebody like maybe Dawson will come down the order slightly. I know he can bat and he can bowl a bit. So would you bring in another batsman? Would you say...
I don't think it's a bad idea.
Who
You can't
who are you gonna
compete
bring
with the
in?
scores we're doing at the moment.
No.
Can you?
Who are you going to bring in? I've got a name.
Go on.
He hasn't been brought up.
Is he in the squad?
No.
Oh, well.
A person that could play spin well and has proven to play spin well. It's going back to the
Who?
dark, not the dark
What,
ages.
05?
No, Ian Bell.
Oh, fuck.
It's a backward step. We've done it with Batty. Can he just come in and just...
It's not a backward step. It's just... Batty is just a... I think they just wanted to take loads of extra spinners.
I think
and
with
they
Batty
don't have that many.
they
so they
thought...
picked Batty. It's like, well, he's experienced.
No, I think they thought with Batty he could be economical and bowl well, but he's bowled pretty poorly.
He's not good enough.
No, he's not.
No, don't bring back Ian Bell. Let's move on. Let's just...
But do you think he could almost stop the rot?
No. When we played in the UAE against Pakistan a few years ago, he was rubbish.
Yeah.
He couldn't make a run. He got out all the time to... who's the off spinner?
Is that the one that didn't play again because he got bought for throwing?
Yeah, I think
I
so.
can't remember his name.
But Ian Bell can play him. And so I don't think he would be your answer.
So you're happy with...
I think that's not a bad idea to bring an extra batsman in, though. I think that's a good idea.
Would you like to see Duckett back?
I wouldn't mind seeing Duckett back. Well, he was batting at... what was it, 4?
He opened, didn't he?
Oh, well then... Yeah.
But he doesn't...
Give him a go lower
I think he
then.
bats number 3 normally. Or not.
I would...
Are you prepared to axe the third spinning option? 'Cause I just don't think they get enough game time.
Well,
I like it.
They're not using it, are they?
No.
So,
And also, they're not doing brilliant. We have got Rashidi who's bowled his way into a bit of form this series. I'd say...
if you're not using it, then get rid of it.
So you'd bring another batsman. I would bring in Broad and say, do you know what,
He's
we'll
injured.
have... But if he makes it fit, there's an option or a chance for him
So
to be
you're
fit.
saying if everyone's fit in the squad,
Yeah.
you wouldn't bring an extra batsman in?
I'd bring in an extra bowler,
so you
an
bring
extra
forward
seamer. Yeah.
in. What? So you would go for having more firepower in the bowling to try and level out our poor batting than adding a batsman trying to strengthen the batting?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think... I know that sounds slightly odd.
Well, you've
but
got to go one way, haven't you?
I just think if we look at the first innings...
If you look at all the games, the third spinner when it's been in, they haven't used anyway.
No.
So there's unless you have a proper go at using it, then it's really pointless.
And Stokes took for 5 for in the Indian first innings.
Yeah.
It shows that pace can work on these pitches if you're clever enough.
And they're not, like you said, they're not actually that bad. I mean, not bad, but they're quite good batting pitches.
Yeah, the wickets are nothing like the
Yeah,
Bangladesh ones, are they?
exactly.
They're not
So-
turning square. That
It's
third
not
spin is
been- yeah,
underneath
exactly.
it. And also, if he doesn't
That's
give you that
probably-
control, which he hasn't been,
Yeah.
there's no point keeping him.
Yeah, and if they're more like a road, then you have to have more control.
And somebody like Stuart Broad has got these lots of different... He seems to be a fan of the cutters now, doesn't he? And
I think
it has brought success.
I think I would still...
You still want to bring in
pick a
another batsman.
See how
So
that went.
the call-up of Jennings or Dawson, you're a fan of?
Yeah, I don't
just-
mind.
Well, I don't know a lot about them because they're county players.
So, is there a limit to the size of the squad you can have?
but I wouldn't know, to be honest.
Because if they've called up 2 extra players, I guess there isn't.
No, I suppose there's
surely
not.
there's a limit of the people you can take on. Well, maybe not.
Probably.
What difference does it make?
It's not a tournament, is it? So
No. All right. Oh, that's where it is.
Though-
That's where there
Le-
probably is. Some.
yeah.
Okay.
Let's just say the 2 people that would be in contention to come in for a batting spot are you. So Dawson, Jennings, Balance, and Duckett. Any of those you're ruling out
I
completely?
don't want balance.
No, okay, fair enough. So
I don't want balance. I don't know enough about Billings and Dawson, and I quite like Duckett. I know he hasn't done particularly well, but I think if they play him a little bit lower, like when Jonathan Trott first came into the team, he was batting 5. So I think that's an easier place to come into the team than opening.
Well, we
when
saw
you're not
Joe
an
Root
opener.
go to open, then go to, was it 5? It was 5,
No,
wasn't
I think
it?
he came in the team as a middle order player, and then was put into open.
But I think he had his first success at number 5,
Yeah,
and then moved to 4, then to 3.
yeah, and
if
had
we-
that
if
series
we-
as opening,
if we
which
forget
he got
about-
dropped for, but he did quite well.
Forget about that opening spot he had. So, as we're talking about the batting, England probably lose this game in the first innings, don't they? You win the toss and you make 283 all out. That's really poor.
Especially when India, India are going to be good. You'd have to bowl really, really well to make it competitive, wouldn't you? Setting 280.
We had a little chat beforehand, and we were talking about how England just threw their wickets away. There was one player in that Samid in the first innings who didn't, out of the top 6 or 7, that didn't throw his wicket away. And it was just like, it was irritating to see the likes of people running down the pitch and missing, or
Did Ben Stokes run down the pitch?
I can't
He's
remember
got
how
stumps.
Stokes he got.
He's got stumps. I haven't seen any of the
Stokes.
highlights,
Yeah,
so I don't-
Stokes getting on the
Deegan
wicket
running
and-
down.
and
Brilliant.
missed, yeah. But Bairstow got out, but he made a brilliant 89. But they just didn't apply themselves. And on the first day of a Test match, probably in your batting first in India, that's going to be the most. They've given themselves the best chance of winning the game by winning the toss, and they fluff it. It was
We
really
did get into
disappointing.
the second day, didn't we? Just.
We batted
93.
93.5 over, so you would have, would have just. Well, Anderson makes a quite brilliant 13 off 9 balls, so.
Didn't we score too slowly?
No.
No?
That doesn't. The scoring on this pitch doesn't. I don't mind it. It's just. Getting yourself out is completely. In India, it's just. I can't defend it. Does that make sense?
Getting out.
Getting yourself out in the vein that England team did.
Getting yourself out is. You can't defend, can
If
you?
England were 200 for 5, 200 for 3.
You got cramp.
If England were 200 for 3, and someone like a Joe Root's trying to push on the innings, and he gets out from a sweep shot or whatever, then you can kind of defend it. But the wickets were tumbling, and people were still running down the wicket.
It's stupid, isn't it? Yeah, I don't know.
They'll take nothing away from the Indian bowlers. At least they pitched the ball. At least they got it onto the wicket. You know, they bowled.
Well, that's minimum, isn't it?
That's all they needed
Pitching
to
it on
do.
the wicket.
That's all they needed to do. It's more than we can say about Gareth Batty.
What I don't understand, right, is how is Ashwin doing so well with the bat? Is he just hitting some like purple patch of batting, or I mean, I don't understand. How can we do so badly?
Yeah.
And he looks so good.
Yeah.
Like, what's his average? How good is this guy? He's not that good, is he?
Well, what was it? Ashwin, Jadeja, and Yadav those guys make pretty much 200 runs
And they've done
between
it
them.
a few times.
Yeah,
Like, not
yeah.
that well, but been like a rear guard.
I think their middle to lower order is better than England's. I'd love to have Jadeja coming in and batting then, and same with Ashwin.
Who would you rather have? Because I think
Jadeja or Ashwin?
no,
Brother of Ashwin.
Jadeja or Butler. Because I think they're quite similar in their mindset when they bat. Like in a one day, there's no question. But in a test match,
Are you just talking about the batsman, not
just
Jadeja obviously
just
bowls.
just as a batsman. Because you got to be thinking really they've got similar roles.
Do you know Jadeja scored 3 triple first class hundreds
Is
for
he?
his county, his Indian county? Yeah,
Holy.
I'll take Jadeja.
Would you?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I would as well.
Yeah, England fluff it. they have a chance at getting India 156 for 5. So they're in the game there at that point.
I think we know that they've got a very good tail, though.
They have, yeah. And
So I think
they proved it today.
yeah, I think it's a bit demoralising.
I remember you saying,
four out and be like they can still pile runs on.
I remember you saying, do you think in the last test the tail wagging demoralised England? And I was like, I'm not sure because England make a good start or whatever test it was. This time, for them to add 200 runs for the loss of those last 3 or 4 wickets, England must have taken a real sting out of England then.
The other thing is, I watch on the Sky Sports app, and they have like that 4-minute highlights package of the day. And Ashwin, he didn't even look hard for him as well.
No, he did.
He made it look so easy, and that's got to be, if he struggles and he's nicking them, when the tail enders get 50s from edging it, getting dropped a few times, trying to whack one and hitting a 6. But he was playing like elegant cover drives with no footwork. And it's like, it annoys the hell out of me. We can make it look so hard, and Ashwin's just stroking it all over the place.
Well, Jadeja, as their number 8, faces 170 balls.
Yeah, I know.
Yadav, their number 9, 141 balls.
Yeah.
That's a lot of balls for the two lower...
Yeah.
They're not tail enders, but they're lower end.
I know.
Of the batting lineup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might come, like you say, just a bit of application.
I definitely think so.
Yeah.
I think those two knew how to play on that pitch. Just get yourself in and then reap the rewards, I think. Yeah, it's a shame. It actually irritated me this time, watching England.
Do you think we'll manage to nick one?
Well, get a win.
Yeah. With 2 games left. 2 tests.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure. 4-0, I don't think so.
Because after the draw...
3-0,
I think
or maybe
you were pretty
3-1.
confident that we'd managed to get a win after the draw.
Yeah. I thought we'd get more draws as well. I thought if the pitches were going to be that, if they were going to be that good for batting on, in the first innings or the first couple of days, because it only started spinning on
I think you got to bat first if you win the toss, though.
Oh no question. No.
You don't want to bat last, do you? So
no.
England winning the toss and batting.
And also scoreboard pressure might come into it, especially for England. They see India get 400.
Do you think India are scared of that, though?
Scoreboard pressure?
Yeah.
No,
I don't think they are. I don't think they get... If England score 400, I think India are thinking we need to be careful not to lose it now.
I think India are fearless in their own conditions.
I think, India are just like, well, they've got a good chance of drawing it, but they're not going to beat us.
What I wanted to chat to you about was, in the second innings, we saw a quite brilliant innings of the young Hamid.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know how the England team dealt with this, whether they dealt with it properly.
Break his finger in the first innings, didn't he?
Yeah, the way he got out, he got hit on the glove, spooned up, and he broke it, and he needs to go and have a plate put in his hand now.
Ooh.
Now, will that change? He had to completely change his grip for the second innings, so he couldn't use his little finger on the bat at all.
I tell you what, those kind of things, when you have to change like something you used to, or a slight bit of technique, can actually help you, because you have to concentrate so much more.
Do you think him getting a plate in his hand might affect his ability to come back?
No.
Do you think that plate in hand?
No, because
it's a little finger though. How well can that repair?
It'll be all right. I think some players can get. It's like Shane Warne when he busted his shoulder.
Well, shoulders are going to be different, isn't it?
And he took a while to change, and he couldn't bowl a googly anymore.
Yeah,
but he didn't do that badly afterwards.
So Hamid won't be back until next summer for England.
Really? Oh right, yeah, of course.
This is the last Test series.
Yeah,
but England, we see something a bit peculiar. Now Hamid could have batted wherever he wanted in this game, in this innings. He could have batted his normal position in an opening spot.
I wonder whether you just want to give it a bit of rest if you've broken your finger. Why he didn't open.
Yeah, but then...
And you don't know how he's going to do you?
I completely
send
understand
him out,
that.
and then he gets out straight away like, well, we've just lost the wicket and we knew he wasn't going to do very well.
I completely understand that. But it's not like when Hamid did come out, England had a chance of saving the game.
No, I know, but
His injury could have got worse. Does that make sense? They risked him a little
what, you
bit.
think they
sending
should
him
have
out.
just not sent him out at all?
Well, if you send him out at 8, then don't send him out at all, kind of thing.
Good experience for him. And
Well,
he did very well.
It's painted him in a brilliant picture. It was a great innings. That says 59 off 156, but that doesn't tell you the whole story. He started off, he probably had a strike rate of about 20 for his first 100 balls. And then because Woakes and Rashid's wicket fell very close to each other, him and Anderson got together and he was just smashing it around. Brilliant slog sweeps.
Does he hit in the air?
Get down, bang, yeah. Brilliant shots. And just completely changed his tempo up, which was so nice to see. And it's nice to see him get a not-out score as well, because he deserved it. Though in true boycott fashion, I know people are calling him baby boycott, he did run Jimmy Anderson out. So England, it was easy for India. They win by the 8 wickets.
Yeah, I don't think they were in danger, were they?
Chase 100 runs down.
Yeah.
I think. You've decided on your team, have you? Going into the next game?
No,
because we've got a little bit of a break until December the 8th is the next test match. It was something I wanted to ask you.
Go on.
Was Alistair Cook? Is he thinking about if this Test series turns out to be a 4-0 loss?
Yeah.
Or a 3-0 loss, or they don't get a win.
They can't win it.
They don't get a Test win.
Oh right, sorry. Yeah.
He has said that he won't be the captain up until he retires. He will pass the captaincy
he
on,
wants to play and
then
be
play,
captain.
and then almost like mentor. Would that be a time to think about?
Oh, what?
Moving the captaincy on?
No. How old's Alice? He's not that old, is he?
I think he's 31 now.
Nah.
So
I think he'll wait. He'll play the Ashes, I think, and then I think if he wants, he'd probably do it after that, because it would be good to do it on the back of a win in the Ashes. Go, I'll not be captain. I'll pass it on.
When is the next Ashes? Are we next winter?
Oh yeah, next winter. Yeah.
So that's a long time.
Well, it's the English summer, and then it's the Ashes.
Yeah, I honestly think I don't want him to step down, but I think he might think about it if things don't go well.
He won't do it. Not after this.
So I think it's come into his mind before that he didn't think he was quite there, and he hasn't played that. He had that 100, but otherwise he's looked a bit shaky. Let's finish on what your team's going to be.
Well, I don't know anything about the batsman.
Well, you have to choose.
They've called up.
I've called you in as a selector for the game.
Oh, then I would watch lots of footage.
Ian Bell.
No.
PP.
Yeah, that'd be good, wouldn't it?
Try.
Well, I'd just go out and smash it, mate. It's like, whatever you do, don't care about the team.
Alex
no worries there, mate.
Alex Hales, do you think he's a little bit unlucky to not be brought in for that opening spot?
Has he not been?
No. Well, you've seen the batsmen that have been called up are Jennings and Dawson.
Is he not already in the squad?
No.
Well, no. Unlucky. Should have gone to Bangladesh.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah, but I would have maybe think about called.
You didn't want Alex Hales.
I didn't. I liked Hamid.
And I like Hamid as well, but you don't. I don't know why you're saying this. You didn't want.
We've seen
anyway.
Duckett can't open the batting, and the only reason why Hales didn't start in that Bangladesh series.
Moeen either.
Yeah, Nork and Moeen, and probably Nork and many of them other batsmen. I don't want to see Root go up there. Let's leave Root at number 3. Even if it's just for 2 games, just keep him there. I think Hales has been a little bit unlucky because he chose not to play his next match.
Yes.
He didn't get effectively. Yeah. I don't think he would have been dropped.
Did he? No, he'd have played.
So I thought he was slightly unlucky not to be thought about or to be invited along. So who is going to be your Test 11? Cook, you going to go with Jennings?
I'm guessing he's an opener.
Yeah, well, I think he's top order 2 or 3. I'm not that sure.
Dawson
bats slightly lower down and bowls.
You'd have to put Jennings in there to open.
Root, number 4.
I'd like to see Bairstow bat 4.
Without the gloves?
He can't bat 4 and wicket keep, so yeah,
he'd
have to go without the gloves.
Moeen 5.
Moeen 5.
Stokes 6.
Stokes 6. Butler 7.
Now, what are you going to do about your bowlers? Because you're going to bring someone else
I don't
in.
want a spinner, bring an extra batsman. So hang on, that's not right then.
You're going to bring Duckett in?
Yeah.
And maybe bat him number...
I'd bat...
in front of Moeen?
Duckett.
5, Moeen
No.
6?
I'd give Duckett a go at 6. Keep Moeen 5,
Yeah.
Duckett 6.
Stokes
7, Butler 8. Then Rashid 9.
Well, what about if Broad is fit? You're going to have Wokes and Anderson or Broad and Anderson?
Yeah, I think I'd pick Broad and Anderson.
Okay, and now what happens if Wokes and Broad... Because there's rumours that they're both in a little bit of doubt for the next game. If
they're both unfit.
You're going to bring in Ball or Finn? Well, you might have to bring in both.
I'm bringing in Finn.
I think you're hoping that one of those two pulls through and maybe Ball has to have the go. I'm exactly with you, though. I would like to not bring another batsman and bring in another pace bowler. Give us more options to the.
I didn't bring in another pace bowler.
No, you brought in another batsman.
So who would you have instead of?
If everyone was fit, Broad would just come straight into that team for.
Yeah, but he's not.
We don't know. But there's a chance he will play.
Right. Okay.
There's a chance that he will be able to prove his
if
fitness.
He's not,
just like
who
Wokes.
would you have?
So if you're bringing Ball in straight away.
Yeah.
And if Wokes is injured, then maybe I'd bring in a batsman because Wokes can back, can't he?
Yeah.
I reckon that sums it up, actually. The next test is on
It's the 8th, wasn't it?
The 8th. Thank you for...
When is that? What day is that?
It's like we won't... I don't think we'll bring out a Rainy Day podcast before that, because I think it's at the end of next week, is it?
Yeah. It starts on the Thursday.
So it's a week on Thursday, the next game. Thank you for listening if you've made it this far. Do all this stuff. Like, subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe.
Tell a friend.
Yeah. Add a comment.
Add a comment.
Like, just so you can have one.
Oh, find us on... we haven't done that in a while. A link to Twitter.
Yeah.
At Long Hop Podcast. Find us... it might not even be that. The link's in the description below.